Hello, it's Candace.
And my friend Jenny.
And y'all, we've been working together today.
We did. We got to work together.
We did work together.
Kind of, sort of.
We went from working every day together to now seeing each other just sporadically. I don't know, Jenny. I can't take it.
I don't like it. And, you know, like we were working together, but you were in one area. I was in another area. So it didn't feel like we were working together like when we used to work nights together.
That's right.
And then we went to grab some food before we went, and we ran into somebody else that we used to work with at night, Kim.
That's right. We love Kim and Donna.
Yeah, we love Kim and Donna. I haven't seen Donna. You said you saw Donna the other day.
Week, yes.
And we saw Kim when we went to eat, and it just made me miss working every night with these
It made me miss it too,
ladies.
but I don't miss the circumstances we were in.
I don't miss the circumstances we were in, and I do have to say that I like sleeping at night. I mean, this I do like. I don't love working 5 days a week. Hey, Jennifer Rudd.
Hey, Jennifer.
Allison. Hey, Jennifer. Thank y'all for watching.
Yes, thank you. We did
not
announce it. We just spot on came into it.
Yes, we did. We did. So anyway, it was, you know, I miss that group of ladies. I just don't miss being up all night.
Well, God made us to sleep at night. That's how He made it to happen.
He did. It's you know, it's just challenges though, because there's no perfect job. I mean, we've talked about this before. I think, you know, I like the job that I'm doing now, but I don't love working 5 days a week for sure. I miss time with my grandbabies and family and that kind of thing. But, you know, like I said so many times, when you change a job and you don't get to work with the same people every day, this has kept us connected. So we are so thankful to everybody that comes to watch us.
That's right.
So that we are able to stay connected.
That's right.
So we got, you know, Candace here. She has all kinds of stuff.
We've already sat at supper and talked about, we got 3 things to talk about.
Yes.
We're going to talk about, KJ had a live that talked about, it was a hard life for her.
It was
a hard life.
It was a hard life for everybody.
It was a hard life for everybody. And so, but I've digested a lot of stuff. I've thought about a lot of stuff. I've asked myself a lot of questions, and I want to give a theory on it. Second, we had another case. Kobe Bryant's wife got awarded $16 million from the LA County. And some people might think, if she has enough money, why did she do that? We're going to give a little update on that.
Okay.
You didn't know about that.
I did not know about that one.
And then we're going to go over Scott Peterson and his attempt to have a retrial.
My gosh.
His attempt to have a retrial.
I can't wait to hear about that.
Because I think there's a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
Between Scott Peterson and Lori and Chad Daybell. It could be something that we can glean from that, and so we're always about that.
Well, yeah, because we've said all along we want this case to be where they can't come up. How many years ago was that, the Scott Peterson?
That he was convicted in 2004.
Yeah, we don't want them coming back that many years later and trying to say, hey, I want a new trial. We don't want. We want it done right.
We want it done right.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Tina Reddington.
Who is saying hey to us?
Let's see who all's here. Let's see.
We're not driving this time. We're not going to hit a bump.
Julie Wilburn, Donna Donald, Tina Reddington. Hey everybody, thank you for watching. Yeah, we're not gonna drive this time. You know, we had a little
bump up. We thought it would be great to have it in the car like we did the very first video. We hit a bump in construction. The thing fell off. People thought we flipped the car. We turned it into a TikTok video. Actually, our first TikTok video.
It was our first TikTok, and it got like 700 views or something.
It sure did. I mean,
that's pretty impressive, I thought. But I'll tell you, the funniest thing for me was So I have the video on my phone because we were trying to figure out how to put it on TikTok for quite some time, I do have to say. And so I have the video on my phone, so my grandchildren were looking at it. Well, my granddaughter just is laughing at it and playing it over and over. And my grandson says, Candance says, we hit a bump. I said, yes, she did.
I'm just glad I didn't say nothing else. We did hit a bump.
We did.
We did hit a bump. That's what we did. But Jenny, I first want to get into this thing that KJ was talking about. If you don't know, I mean, I don't know if her live is still up. I've been working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Unfortunately, my sister had a heart attack on
We've
Sunday.
been praying for your sister.
We are. She had no blockages. It was from stress. Unfortunately, I don't know that her stress can be easily relieved. It's my baby sister, too. It's my baby sister. But, you know, I've said it a lot. And so if you don't know it, I've said, I told you when you were working all them nights and you wasn't sleeping good, I said, you will either rest or your body will make you rest.
That's right.
That's what will happen.
That's right.
You have to take care of yourself. So she is doing better.
Yeah.
No blockages. It can be completely reversed. She just has to do what the doctor tells her to do. But it was a little bit of a harrowing moment.
And scary, yes.
Very scary.
Yes.
And I'm sure very scary for her.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But she did great.
Yeah, and we are continuing to keep her in our prayers.
Hold on.
There we are.
We need light. So that happened. Then we worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're a little tired. But we are determined, like we tell y'all. We're determined to get on here. We're determined to connect with the people and, you know, connect the dots and you know, just discuss our cases and what we can learn from them.
That's right.
So KJ had a live. She was talking, I think, primarily about JJ and how the condition in which he was found. And I will have to tell you, I stopped the video. I couldn't watch it live because I was working. I stopped the video early on to watching it, and I told her my theory on the comments of that video. Then I went back and listened to the rest of the video. I should have listened to the whole video because my brain gets to working. My brain gets to thinking about these things. And I felt like I can't go back and make another comment. I'll just say it on the live because I said it to you. I have a completely different theory. I feel like two things were happening. I feel like two things. Sorry, my radio's on. Let me turn that down. Two things were going on. I really believe, this is just my theory, this is just my opinion, that when they bound JJ's wrist and feet or ankles, that had everything to do with them overdosing him and trying to contain, if he were to come out of it, wake up out of it, that they would have him sort of in a contained, not able to fight type of situation.
Right. Like you feel like probably they had sedated him before they ever did that.
Yes.
Which we've said all along. It's horrible. I can't imagine what they went through, but we hope they don't remember. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that he wasn't awake and knowing that they were doing that.
Right. I hope so too.
But it's heartbreaking.
KJ kept emphasizing, because I said, this was my first theory, that they tried to overdose him. It wasn't going as fast as they wanted because these things probably take time. I mean, like KJ says, these things did not just happen quick or in an hour, right?
Right.
So I think that in my first thought was they put that white bag over his head to suffocate him. That's what I thought. But KJ kept saying, but they wrapped his head. They wrapped his head with this duct tape. Wrapped his head with this duct tape, right? Duct tape, right?
I think so.
Yeah. And I got to thinking about that, and I'm thinking, why would they do that? I mean, my first thought would be so that if he were to get sick, he couldn't get it out. That was just my first, like as a nurse, thought. Then I thought, I don't know. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but I remember one of my favorite Christmas movies is A Christmas Carol. Yep. And Jacob Marley's head is wrapped like that, like around the head and the chin, around the head and the chin, around the head and the chin. And I said, well, why would they do that in Charles Dickens' movie? Mm-hmm. I mean, why would they do that? And when he, it depends on which episode or which movie of that you watch, because they've made many. I love George C. Scott. I'm going to be honest. I love his the best. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But when he unwraps it, his jaw like falls open. And the purpose for them doing that is so that when people would look at them, their mouth would not be contorted from dying. Sort of like you wouldn't see them in this horrible looking state. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, like...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So, with that information in mind, and I'm thinking about the whole thing, and a shallow grave, right? Mm-hmm. Shallow grave. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that they closed his mouth this way, and they put the bag over it, and they put the black trash bag this way, and I really think that Chad, and I'm gonna be honest with you because I feel like he's the only one that would have this sort of knowledge
because of his history.
Because I was reading up that when you do not embalm a person, their contents in their body builds up gases and of course odors, and I feel like he was trying to contain it.
Because
I feel like he was trying to contain it.
Of what his past job was, yes.
That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I feel like it was two things going on. It was two parts.
Yeah.
I feel like there was the actual, we're trying to contain a person who could fight us back, run away. And then I feel like they were trying to contain, which really, Chad, I'm being honest, I will be shocked if this is not on a computer, how to look this up.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but this is what I'm thinking. I've really thought a lot about it. Because the way KJ kept doing her hand, I kept thinking, who have I seen like that? And it was in A Christmas Carol, Jacob Marley. And they did not embalm people back then. Mm-mm. Or not readily, maybe rich people, but regular folks, no.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. And that's the combination of like, when I was saying if there was any, I mean, I don't feel like there was remorse from these people.
No.
At all, or guilt or anything, but that's what I had said originally, was they wanted him to look more normal because of looking at his face. But that makes more sense. What you're saying makes way more sense, because they had no decency in them. They had no decency
in them. And they were willing to murder them and dismember Tally. So you got to remember, they don't have they don't have any, soul about this.
They have no soul. That's the whole point.
It wasn't doing it for the person who died's sake.
No.
It was doing it for their sake.
To cover up. To another way to cover up.
Yes.
Another way to cover up.
What about the blue blanket? Because we talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about it. What do you think about the blue blanket? Because KJ kept saying the blue blanket wasn't sort of wrapped around him, like in a sense of warmth.
It was just like,
I think either Lori put it there or Lori said to Chad or Alex, make sure he's buried with the blanket.
well, is it a blanket he had all the time?
I don't know.
Okay, if it's a blanket he had all the time, then she would want it buried with him, because if it was found somewhere without him, then everybody would be saying, well, where's JJ? JJ never goes anywhere.
Oh, that
without
is a
blanket.
great point. I think you need to say that again.
What I'm saying is, it wasn't out of her care or comfort for JJ. It was another way to try to cover up what she was doing. If that was a blanket that he had all the time, then she would want that somewhere where nobody could find it.
Somebody is saying something. Tina Reddington saying something.
I think JJ was fighting them and bit someone, so they taped him up. Well, that's a good point.
It could be. But I do think you bring up a great point, and I think this is an important point. When you look at what they were willing to do to these children and these other human beings, anything that they did was not out of feeling or love or compassion. It has to do with something about themselves, because they're willing to kill them, put them in the ground, not in a casket, not with a proper burial. I mean, heaven only knows what we're going to find out about poor Tylee and the state and condition of herself. Okay, they have nothing of what they did was out of love, compassion, kindness toward another human being, much less her own child.
Right.
So you can't look at it from that standpoint, because you are correct. They buried him with the blanket because if somebody found him with the blanket, they would say, well, JJ would never be without that blanket. I think that's a great point. I mean, that was great. High five on that.
I don't get
We
those
didn't even
very
talk about that.
I know.
You thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Thank you.
And you know what? And we don't know. I mean, none of us know. This is just our opinion.
That's right.
But when you think about the psyche of somebody that can do these horrific things, there's nothing in them that's saying, oh, well, we wanted to bury him with the blanket. Oh, we want to, everything they did had an own selfish motive.
Yeah. Because
and I think it's
going
to be on
people.
I think it's going to be on computers. I think it's going to be on text messages. I'm just going to say. I really do.
Yeah, they've got evidence that we
don't know. We don't know
to see yet.
But I think that's great points. I don't
You
know what
too.
KJ thinks.
You too.
But I think that's great points. Well, I'm telling you,
I like when I have a good.
I like it when too. But she kept doing this, and I kept saying, "Who have I seen wrapped up like that?"
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
It was Jacob
and
Marley.
You're right. Chad would know these things because he was a grave digger. He would know these things.
The only thing he didn't. Well, first of all, I would like to say criminals are caught because they do stupid things.
That's right.
I told you that at supper.
Yep.
And they did a shallow grave, which I don't know if he just thought because it was a small person he could get by with it, or they were going to put a slab over it pretty quick. Yep. But them cell phone pings, I mean, something they didn't even count on was telling them exactly what happened.
That's exactly
And I love that their stupidity is going to be what catches them in the end. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that. I think, from the pings to him texting Tammy, I mean, that was dumb of him to text that to Tammy. Call her, something. You put it in writing when you're burying somebody in the yard. You put in writing that you're burying a raccoon.
Not smart.
Not smart.
These are going to be the things that are revealed in the court case.
Yes.
Somebody's saying something. See what she says.
A shallow grave because they were going to move the bodies later. Oh.
Could be.
That's true. That's what Lynn Bountiful says. Hello, Lynn. And then Tina says they have a lot of evidence that will come out in the trial. That's true. That is true. Lynn also says, hi, I think they knocked him out with drugs. That's why he was sleeping on Alex's shoulder. Yeah.
No, I believe that 100%. First of all, I don't even know if that scenario happened. because we've talked about it. You know, when somebody is oxygen deprived, it is very evident to even lay people. Something ain't right.
Right.
Their color's not right.
The way they're breathing.
The way they're, well, not breathing.
Or not breathing,
or
yeah.
No, not breathing. I just don't believe that scenario happened.
You just think that Melanie Gibb knows more than she's saying.
I really do.
Yeah,
I really do.
David Vallow, yeah.
I really do. I've thought about it a lot. We've talked about it. We've looked at some inconsistencies in her account toward here, there, and everywhere. And like we've talked about, I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
You can tell the truth no matter what part of the story you start in.
That's true.
But when you're telling a lie, you want to go back to the beginning because that's the way you want to tell it. So when the investigators are taking you into the last third of the story, you're kind of getting tripped up. I feel like her and David Warwick, who were both there, both present, both
On
competent.
that weekend,
Can I
yes.
say competent? They were both competent, right?
Yeah.
But they give two different accounts of the people who were at the meeting with the real estate agent. Jenny's a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Two different accounts of that. And they give different accounts of the podcast.
Yep.
They also give different accounts of the morning. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I believe she thought, oh my gosh, we went over this story and you're getting it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, probably so.
That's what I think.
Probably so. Allison Appleby said, I read one of the subscribers said in comments, maybe the land they were buying was for their second location grave. Oh, maybe so. Yeah, and Tina Reddington says, consider the source of that info about him on Alex's shoulder. That's true.
It's true.
Oh, and Jen Marr says, putting the dead animals on top of him was to mask the smell of anyone, if anyone started digging there.
That's right. So, I just had a thought, just popped in my head. We know this was not quick, or we don't believe it was quick. Hence, the tying of the hands and the ankles.
Right, right.
I mean, that leads to me that you're a person, you don't know how this is going to go. I have personally taken care of children, just in general. They are some strong, fierce little people. Are they not?
Absolutely.
Especially when they got an IV in. Especially when you've done some dental procedure on them or some procedure on them. I mean, they got strength.
Well, and the medication that they've been given is making them disoriented, and, you know, they're not in their element. Yes.
They're combative.
They are combative.
They're emerging from anesthesia, and they can be combative. Is this not right?
That's right.
So, the fact that they did this lets me know they knew that he had a lot of strength.
Yes. And
they knew it.
I mean, and especially when they're frightened, is what Rhonda says. That's exactly right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you think they tried it before?
Oh, I don't know. But what I was going to say is, there is this picture of him on that iCloud account, like 12 o'clock. He's in those red pajamas. But I'm thinking to myself, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, because that's how my brain works. We start saying something, and I'm like, what about that? Because we're saying that we don't think Alex brought him in during no podcast on the shoulder. We don't believe that.
Right.
Was that picture accurate of the date and time when it was taken?
I don't know.
But it does take, I do think that it was going to take them some time.
Yeah. So do you think that picture was not taken right around that time?
Okay, hold on. That picture was taken, sorry, let's go back and think about the timeline. That picture was taken around noon on Sunday. That's the 22nd. They're going, I do not know the time. I'm sorry if you do. Please tell us. They're going to meet with the real estate agent, but we know there's no care person, meaning like Lori had got a care person to take care of JJ, like through
Right.
care.com or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's none of that we know of.
Right.
The neighbor ain't taking care of him. I don't know if Melanie P is at this meeting because she's not actually up there yet that we know of. She might have been up there for the weekend, but she's not up there living.
Right.
A picture was taken at 12 o'clock. Melanie Gibb says that night, between 9 and 12, somewhere in there, Alex comes in with him on his shoulder. That's the night that David Warwick has this horrific dream. And in the morning, I would like to say, just about demands to see JJ, or he says.
So he says, yeah.
But it never happened. I mean, what do you think? I'm thinking it probably started right after that picture. I think she took that picture for some reason. Because like I said, we have to think like her. We can't think like a rational person,
No.
a rational mother, that you're thinking, oh, I'm taking the last picture of my child because I'm going to tell you what. Did you see that TikTok I sent you about that little girl singing to her mama?
I haven't. I read the thing and I was like, I can't watch this right now because I was getting ready for work.
Well, I'm
And
going to tell the folks
I
out
couldn't get
here.
myself in the mindset because of what the caption said. I could not make myself. I was going to watch it tonight.
I'm going to tell y'all what this TikTok was. This TikTok is of a mother. You can't see the mother. She is videoing her child. Her child looks about 18 months to 2 years old. The mother writes on the caption of the video that this is the day before this little girl dies. I do not know what she passes away from, but she clearly was sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they look kind of like they're at home.
I didn't watch it. I mean, the picture looks like that.
They
yes.
look like they're at home, just to give you some context. And the mother says that she could not eat, drink, hardly talk. But this is the day before she passes. And she looks up at her mom with these like loving eyes. And she sings, I love you. Of course, she sings it real slow. It's real. I'm telling you, I had tears streaming down my face. She sings that whole song to her mama. And she can hardly hold her eyes open. But she's just like looking at her mama. And I'm just like, see, that's a mama who's taking a video knowing this is a forever moment for me.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
I do not know this person. If I can, I will tag it onto the community wall because it was beautiful. It was beautiful because you know what it says to me? I don't care if you're 18 months. I don't care if you're 12 months. I don't care if you're 6 weeks. If you've experienced love, you know love. Mm-hmm. And you know who loves you.
And she knows her mama
and
loves
she
her.
Knew
and
her
she
mama
was doing
loved
that
her.
For her mama.
And she is giving her mama a forever moment. Whether she captured it on video or not.
Right.
She's giving her mama a forever moment.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, I'm telling you, I had tears streaming down my face.
Yeah, well, I knew I would. That's why I didn't watch it right before work this morning.
I mean, I was like,
and
oh.
I know I'm not going to have to be going anywhere and already have makeup on and that kind of thing. Not that I have much makeup on at this point, but.
So, changing gears.
Okay.
Because I don't want us to get too sad.
Okay. All right.
That was sad.
That is sad.
That touched my heart profoundly. Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, let's hear this.
Okay, have I told you anything about this? Have I mentioned anything about this to you?
About Kate?
I did. I told you about the autopsy report.
You told me about his autopsy report. Yes.
So, Kobe Bryant, if you don't know, was a very famous basketball player for the Lakers. He was the father of 4 daughters. Very famous human being.
Very famous.
Very famous. I mean, I can tell you exactly where I was, exactly what I was doing when my husband come and showed me the thing that said Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash.
Mm.
I kind of didn't. I mean, your first instinct is not to believe it.
Yeah.
It is.
You're right. You're right.
But then the reports started coming out. We knew his daughter. A lot of other people were on it. We knew it was very foggy.
Mm-hmm.
We started getting all these reports.
Right.
Well, a couple of months passed by, if you don't know about this case, and one of the first responders in some aspect, whether it's fire, EMS, sheriff department, I don't know, but one of those people was showing photos of the deceased, mainly Kobe Bryant, at a local bar 2 days after it happened. And not only pictures of it, pictures where some of the first responders were taking selfies with the deceased Kobe Bryant. Now, have you ever heard of this before? Yes, you have. Joan Rivers was under anesthesia.
Oh, yes, I have
and the
heard of
doctor
this.
took a selfie with her under anesthesia.
Yes.
Is this appropriate?
No.
Tell the people again.
This is no. That is inappropriate.
It's inappropriate.
That's wrong.
It's wrong.
That's HIPAA violation.
HIPAA
That's
violation.
so many wrong things.
It's just wrong against humanity.
Against humanity. Of anybody. I mean, you shouldn't do that.
Anybody.
Even if you're not a medical professional, you should not do that.
Even if the person is not famous.
That's right.
Don't do it.
Don't. No, that's terrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I did not know this. Oh my gosh.
So that's all we really heard about it. You know, this happened. I would like to tell everybody this happened in January before we went through all this COVID stuff. So it clearly should mark in your brain about when the timeline was. So within the last 3 weeks. So we really hadn't heard a lot about it.
Right, because then all of a sudden COVID hit, and that's what everything was
COVID hit.
about.
We've been
That's
going
right.
through all this. So Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife of 20-some years, they got married young. She brings a suit along with one of it's a man who his wife and daughter were killed in the crash also. They bring a suit against the LA County, I'll just say it like that, about these personnel taking these photos, distributing these photos, sending them to their friends. And, you know, she had actually called the sheriff department that day and said, do not let anybody take photos or distribute those photos or put them on their personal devices, which I thought was very insightful on her part.
Yeah, because I would not have thought of that, because you would not think, I mean, I would hope to think that anybody we work with, anybody we know, would not do something like that. I would hope.
Right.
I
but
feel like they wouldn't.
People who could make money off of selling a photo, they're thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
Am I telling it right?
You're right, they are.
Okay. So, they bring this case. And they have the medical examiner up there giving all the details of the descriptions of the bodies. I'm not going to go into it on here. You can look it up online if you want to, because the autopsies themselves, the sketches and the actual descriptions are public. I didn't know this.
I didn't either.
When I read these, first of all, when I read the autopsy reports, I was mortified for the victims and the victims' families. It broke my heart. And to know that people took photos.
Okay, here's another issue I have with that. His wife or children could come across these pictures.
They're not thinking about that. These people are thinking about money.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. But I'm just telling you, people are greedy. People are evil. A lot of people are just evil. They think about themselves. I mean, they're not thinking about all this. So anyway, the case went on. And it went to jury today, and they awarded her $16 million.
Oh, good.
I don't know what they awarded that husband. Maybe all of that's included. I don't know. We were just learning about it at supper. And some people might say, well, she has all this money. What does she need to do that for? First of all, she's fighting for the privacy of human beings in their, like we talk about, their most vulnerable moment that they cannot control or have any say in.
And their family's going through so much already, and you're going to do this where, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm glad she won. She should win.
She should have won. I will tell you that if you read the autopsy report and you put yourself in the thought of what they were taking pictures of, you would think, oh yeah, she's going to win this hands down. I don't care how much money she got. I do not care.
She should win because it will hopefully stop people from doing that in the future.
Maybe it'll make laws. And you know that in this area of LA County, this needs to be on the forefront of what's going on there as far as their medical personnel, hospitals, everything else, because they deal with so many
celebrities. That's exactly right.
So I just had to get that out there because that was a case. And even though we hadn't really been following it, I was following it on the side. I told you about it.
Yes, you had told me about it in the past.
What did they say?
I don't recall that about the... so Rhonda says, hopefully some fools will think twice after this, but who can tell nowadays? That's true. Tina Reddington says, what she does or doesn't do with the money is nobody's business. Amen to that, Tina Reddington. And Rhonda says she's also set an example for others. Julie Wilburn, you are so right, Tina. Sad world we live in, and that's where she's saying there's lots of people that have no decency anymore. That's what Tina Reddington says. That's right.
Right.
Pamela Dimer, it's terrible. That's true. That is so true. Oh, KJ's on here. Hey,
hello,
KJ.
So I think that the number one thing is I think that it will force them. $16 million is a lot for the county to lose. It will force them to change policies.
Absolutely. Which they need to do.
And I will tell you,
although that should have already been a policy, but
true that. But technology advances faster than they can make policies at your workplace, in the community, in the government. Technology advances faster than they can make the laws that protect people.
Yeah.
And we all need to be aware of that.
That's true. That is true.
I mean, so it's sad, but it can happen to us, of course.
Yeah.
You know. But she had every right. She had every right.
Absolutely.
She had every right,
and
she deserved it. And even if she'd got more than $16 million, I would have said, heck yeah.
Absolutely.
After you read the account of what happened.
Oh, yeah. I cannot imagine.
Now we're going to part 3.
All right,
Feel like we wrote a book.
Well, I know. Okay.
Feel like we wrote a book.
All right.
Now, the reason we want to go over this, Scott Peterson.
You said he was laughing almost laughing.
Yeah, he's
when
laughing.
When he came back, like what?
He was sitting in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Jenny, it's hot.
It's hot, thank you. I didn't know these windows. Look, people, I'd had these windows rolled down a long time ago. I thought it wouldn't roll down.
It's light on my face. It's hot. Okay. What we're talking about gets me emotional. That raises it up.
It does. Me too. That whole thing about taking those pictures, makes my blood boil.
Well, you read the autopsy. You read the autopsy.
Yeah.
I told you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
try to block those.
I know, it's horrible.
It's
yes,
horrible.
I did. It's horrible.
You're right.
Okay. On to Scott Peterson before I put my glasses on. You remember Scott Peterson? We talked about it at supper. I mean, we went over all of this. We went over the outline for the video.
We did.
We did. And I told you, I'm going to give you, I'm sure that most of you know who Scott Peterson is. It's a high-profile case. It was a high-profile verdict. We had a very beautiful and innocent and her child victim. We had the mother. What was her name? Sharon Rocha.
Oh, yeah.
Leading the case, leading the fight, leading the charge. We had all of this. So we have sort of, I don't want to call it Greek tragedy, but it's a little bit like that. We had some of the same dynamics ish in this other case of Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson and their unborn child, as we do today in this Chad Daybell, Lori Daybell case. And I would like to say, if you have not seen, I posted it on the community wall. It will freak you out. If you have not seen it, please go to our community wall. Jenny has not seen it, but I post 4 pictures. Did I show them to you?
You did show them to me right before
4
the video.
pictures of Chad Daybell and the pure evilness, the pointiness of the eyebrows. I mean, I'm thinking Satan himself is embedded into this person. I'm not kidding. You need to look at it. You need to look at it.
Yeah.
You need to look at it.
Yeah.
It does not look like this person in court.
Oh, no.
With these white dress shirts on and ties and his hair all slicked down like, you know, he's living up in Mayberry RFD.
Well, yeah, he's trying to look like some innocent man that's been manipulated when we know that's not the case.
I hope they show these pictures.
Yeah.
In the court. But Scott Peterson, I'm sure you know about it. Okay. So there's been renewed interest in Scott Peterson because his family has not given up the fight that he is innocent. You hear what I'm telling you?
I hear you.
Okay. So there's a few things that they use to their sounding bites on clips and TV programs to claim his innocence. Like, there was burglaries in the area. Matter of fact, maybe on the day that she was reported missing. Okay?
Okay.
There was also this fact that when Lacey went missing and it was such a big profile case, and I told you why, a lot of reason it was a profile case, it happened on Christmas Eve, 2003, I'm pretty sure. And not a lot of news is going on. I mean, yeah, I don't know about where you live, but they got the Santa radar going on, but there's not a lot of news as far as like this missing pregnant woman. She might be delivering. We don't know where she's at, what happened to her, this sort of story, right? So that's why the story kind of, you know, gained legs, is what they would say.
Now, how pregnant was she? How many weeks? How many months pregnant?
I think the baby was due in February.
Okay. So she was far along.
What she was, in medical terms, is viable. Meaning the baby could live outside of her womb without the mother's assistance. That's what viable means.
Okay.
The baby is viable. Okay? So, new people, new true crime sleuths, or whatever you want to call us, hearing some of this would be like, well, wait a second. Did they look into that?
Which I'm sure they did.
They did. They did. But what I told Jenny is, what convicts a person is a preponderance of the evidence. Right?
Right.
Right? Meaning, yeah, you might could say, well, he had an affair. We talked about that. He had an affair. Does having an affair make you a murderer?
No.
What's the answer?
No.
No, it does not. It may not make you a lot of things, but a murderer does not make you.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
But when you take some of the things like you're telling your mistress this is going to be your first year without your wife because she's died, or you buy a boat and you don't tell nobody about it, your wife, her family, nobody. Or you make cement anchors that they can actually see the roundness of the cement for anchors that you made, but you can no longer produce an anchor to prove your innocence. When you have a ticket to the dock to say, hey, I went fishing on Christmas Eve all these hours from my home, and your wife and your unborn baby, parts of them wash up on Good Friday?
It was that long.
It was that long.
Christmas Eve and Good Friday.
Mm-hmm. What does that tell you? I know what Sharon Rocha says.
I mean, that he's guilty.
No.
Oh,
that God intervened.
Oh, yes. To let them know what happened to her.
To let them know what happened to her, yeah.
Yes.
The fact that you're talking to your...
it's Christmas Eve and Good Friday, yeah.
The fact that you're talking to your mistress when you're supposed to be looking on these searches for your wife and unborn child.
So he's telling her that this is his first Christmas without his wife because she's died, yet everybody else is still looking for her body, or looking for her,
Then when they have a vigil on New Year's Eve, he tells Amber that he's in Paris, but he's clearly standing at a vigil off to the side that's for his missing wife and unborn baby. What about that they find a hair in the pliers that they found in the boat?
I mean, this is all pointing to him.
Okay, so, but they're asking for a new trial. See what the people are saying. See what the people are saying.
All right. Jean Panek. Hey, Jean. How are you?
How are you?
Let's see. KJ says circumstantial evidence.
It is circumstantial, but guess what? It can convict. It can convict.
Yep. Oh, look. I think they are in the original parking lot. That worked the same shift. You're right.
You're right. But hey, we said it's all right. This is where we're at.
And Lynn is asking what accent? Texan? I can't tell.
Go ahead and tell her.
Well, Baker Canner says, I think North Carolina.
It is North Carolina.
It is North Carolina.
Born and bred.
That's right.
Both of us.
That's exactly right.
Proud of it.
Proud of it.
Tar Heels all the way.
Yes, we are.
All right. So let's get into it. Because we've already been on here 47 minutes.
I know.
And you got to work tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm off. But here we go.
Sleep in.
So I'm going to read. I'll read fast. Pay attention. Scott Peterson will soon learn whether or not he will be granted a new trial. In the 2002, I said 2003, 2002,
okay,
slayings of his wife Lacey Peterson and their unborn son. 20 years ago. Son would be 20 years old today. Can you believe that?
No.
Can't believe it.
Gosh. So sad.
It's awful. Scott Peterson appeared in a California court on Thursday for prosecutors and attorney. This just happened.
This is when you said he was like almost laughing.
Exactly. To argue their respective cases over whether the convicted killer deserves a new trial in 2002 murders of his wife and unborn son. I would like to say he was in, I think we said this last time, he was in his orange, and he had a boot on his foot, and he had a mask on. He was not in regular clothes because he's a convicted killer. After more than 5.5 hours, the day's proceedings closed with the judge asking both sides to submit their memorandums if they like by mid-September. We ain't even got there yet. The jurist has up to 90 days to release her decision. The judge. But it does say jurist. Peterson, now 49, wore a blue coronavirus face mask, handcuffs, and dark orange jailed issue clothing for the Thursday morning hearing in connection to the potential for a retrial in the 20-year-old case that sent shockwaves through the nation, the slayings of his wife Lacey and their unborn child Connor. The baby had a name. The hearing stemmed. Here's why we even have this. He was on death row, and recently they commuted his sentence. I think California got rid of the death penalty. and they commuted his sentence to life in prison without parole. But that's not why we're here today.
KJ says, all because of a juror who lied. I can't read.
Vardar.
The juror had been part of a lawsuit, and she said she had not when asked by a questionnaire if she lied.
Okay, so the hearing stems, here's why we're having it, from defense attorney's argument that juror Rochelle Nice, and if you watch this case, you know exactly who she is. She had pink hair, she stood out, she was very vocal, she was vocal after the verdict, she was vocal on these TV shows, and I don't know if she wrote a book, but she was very prominent. I know exactly who they were talking about. They argued Nice lied to get on the jury that convicted Peterson in 2004 and put him on death row for the murders of Lacey, 27, and their unborn child they planned to name Connor. The California Supreme Court overturned Peterson's death sentence in 2020 and tasked Superior Court Judge Ann Christine Masulo with deciding if he received a fair trial.
Oh my gosh.
I got some pictures. Gardner said Nice refused in 2015, that's 7 years ago, to speak to the defense or the prosecution, and only testified in 2022 because she was granted immunity. That's what it says. He pointed to some important inconsistencies in Mrs. Nice's version of events and the evolution of her versions of events over the years. Now, I would like to say, they're not seeking this saying these people that robbed the house killed her. They're saying because a juror did something wrong may cost them the case. They suggest that she hadn't been consistent like a witness that we're going to find credible. He added she refused to testify unless she was given immunity from the prosecution. This is as far from a cooperating witness, I think, as you can get. Gardner also said that Nice responded no to a question asking whether she could base her decision entirely on the evidence produced in court and not from outside or pre-existing opinions or attitudes. Peterson's attorney at the time, which I would like to say is not the same as these people.
Is different attorneys.
Different attorneys.
Okay.
Who is no longer involved with the case, did not follow up on this answer at when they were picking the jury.
Okay, well.
Garagos, he was very prominent. He had a lot of famous, like Robert Downey Jr., Winona Ryder, when she stole them shirts. You remember all that?
Yeah.
He was her attorney, Mark Garagos. It's all coming back to me.
Okay,
like floods.
But is that, I mean, that's not.
All right, let me finish,
Okay,
and we'll get into
You
it.
go ahead and finish.
Let me finish, and then we'll get into it.
Okay.
Nice took steps to contact Peterson after convicting him. She gave Connor a nickname, called him Little Man, he told the court. She took the extraordinary step after conviction and after putting Mr. Peterson on death row, began correspondence with a series of letters. And the court has seen the letters. And the letters, each of them has various focus, but one of them, every letter in his name, Little Man. I don't know all the rules for being a juror, and I don't know all the rules for being a juror after you've convicted somebody. You been a juror? Could you contact the person? Did they say anything about this?
Not that I recall.
Okay, not that she recalls.
I mean,
and I have not forgot that her son is going to have to be a juror, a backseat juror.
That's right.
He's going to tell us all about it. Grand jury.
Yeah.
He's actually been on one. Very few people have been on one.
Yeah.
Your son has been on one.
Yeah, he has. I'll have to get him on.
You're going to have to get him on here. You're going to have to make us a bunch of questions.
That's right.
And let the people ask him questions.
Yes, and put that on the community wall.
We have to stay focused.
Okay.
David Harris with the Stanislaus County District Attorney's Office told the court that Nice, when asked why she considered herself a fair person, responded, "I know what it's like to be judged." The prosecution said Nice was a single mom who had never been on a jury before the trial and thought it would be part of her civic duty. The 23-page, I want you to think about this, 23-page questionnaire had 163 questions on it.
Yeah, I did not have to do that. I can say that I recall.
Well, it wasn't high profile.
That's true.
As far as the country.
Right.
And she did her best and did the best she could to answer the questions.
And she answered one of those when they asked about, can you be...
In part, can you just go on the evidence presented in court?
She said
and
no.
she said no. She should have, the defense attorney or the prosecutor should have said no. The thing of it is they get so many strikes. And they save them up. Right? It's kind of like...
But is the law that she... I mean, I guess... I don't know.
They roll the dice. I've told you before.
If it's that much of a law or that much that can throw it out of the case, that part of the questionnaire should go through a judge. Whereas if they say no, okay, that one's out. If that can throw a case out 20 years later, then it needs to be that should not be okay.
She should have been struck from the jury right off.
Right.
By a judge, or just the fact that she answered a question and admitted that.
Yes.
Okay? Harris said there was no doubt that Nice made mistakes, but that did not make her a liar. Kind of like, does you have an affair make you a murderer?
It does not.
Okay. She's inconsistent on her answers, he told the court, but being wrong doesn't necessarily make it false or make her a liar. It just might be that she's really bad at filling out forms. 163 questions, 23 pages.
You
What
get
do you
a
think?
little overwhelmed about that, yes. Let's see what everybody's saying.
Well, I can tell you what they're saying. This is a premonition of what's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, look, Jean Panek says her family in Chapel Hill is huge Tar Heel fans. Woo!
So are we.
Yes. Tina Reddington, immunity is a crock of crap.
You don't need immunity if you're telling the truth.
Right. Nancy Browning
Or
said...
You should.
That's right. You should not. That's right. Chad didn't want any odor or mess in his backyard that someone might ask about. A small... or the ground moving when a body is getting bloated.
And I would like to say, we have to put, we have to paint the full picture. We can't paint some of the picture. We've covered it. Eldon Clausen was his neighbor who was nosy. And he died just within a few days after having lunch with Chad of them burying JJ on Chad's property.
Yeah. So they're
just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Andy's researching how the smell goes. This is just the beginning of the iceberg, Jenny. Yes. I'm telling you.
Well, here's something that you're going to want to know. Jen Morris saying, did you watch the documentary about the questions of this case? So
about this Scott Peterson trial?
And Lynn Bountiful says, was this jury going for a book deal? And Jean Panek says, I cannot imagine this happening with Chad and Lori down the road. Which I hope not. But, I mean, if you can...
It can happen.
It's just crazy. They are going to spend years searching for stuff.
Splitting hairs over stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And it would be a travesty.
So first of all, no, I did not watch the documentary. I watched the whole trial. I watched the whole trial when it happened.
But she's saying the documentary about these questions that girl had to answer.
I did not watch that, but I'm just reading you what this
Yeah,
part
that
right
might
here.
be something to watch. That'd be
Well,
pretty
it might be
interesting.
something to watch.
Yeah, I might have to look that up.
But they had plenty of opportunity to throw her off the jury before she was sat on the jury.
Well,
and I would like to say, hold on, she was an alternate. Somebody got dismissed, and that's how she got into the seat. So, you know, she wasn't what you would call. There was a very high chance she wasn't going to get to decide this, and she ended up getting to. I don't know about all that. All right. Harris also added, this is the attorney saying that he does not deserve a new trial. Nice showed sometimes that she could be a little bit confused about things. The prosecutor also argued that Nice was not lying when she responded no to the original trial's juror questionnaire about being involved in any lawsuits. A layperson, he said, might misuse or misunderstand legal terminology. I don't know. They misuse medical terminology all the time, so I can only speak about that. Speak about what I know.
Well, when you're asking questions this important, then you need to talk like...
Break it down.
Break it down to...
their level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To a layperson that will not know law terminology.
It's all the game.
Like,
I'm
you
telling
have to
you,
break
it's all
it
the
down
game.
to me.
It's
the
a
same
chess
thing.
game.
It is.
How many times have we heard jurors sit in the box and say, my house was robbed? This is the example he uses. So pay close attention, because this is something that might happen in a court case. He said, providing an example for his argument. A house cannot be robbed legally. So they're wrong. That's what he said. But we say it all the time. My house was robbed. But they're telling you what they believe is the circumstances in this particular case. It was a burglary. It was not a robbery. I mean, this is splitting hairs, but this is what they're talking about. So they're wrong about what the crime is. That does not make them a liar. So if you've ever said, my house was robbed, it was really a burglary. So if you said it was robbed, you were really wrong. But it does not make you a liar. Do you hear what I'm saying?
I do hear what you're saying.
Okay. I just want to make sure we are connecting.
Yes.
Because if we ain't connecting, we ain't connecting.
Well, yeah, because it's... So what you're saying is... Because to me, that's the same thing. It's not, then? Is that what you're saying? Robbed and burglary?
Robbed and burglary are two different things. I think a person can be robbed, but a home can be burglarized.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Remember the Hamburglar from McDonald's?
Okay, well, I might want to answer that question wrong on
See,
a jury
this
questionnaire.
is what they're saying.
Yes.
For instance, I'm going to give you an example of a thing that people get wrong all the time. I've had a complete hysterectomy. Most people do not have a complete hysterectomy.
No.
But they believe they have.
Yes.
So they're not lying. They just don't fully understand what a complete hysterectomy is.
Right.
Am I speaking truth?
You're speaking truth.
Thank you. Peterson's attorney disputed Harris's claim by presenting a transcript of Nice acknowledging what she had filed was a lawsuit. Harris further pointed to the evidence that police had garnered against Peterson during the course of his investigation into Lacey and Connor's death. Nice was an alternate juror. Here we go.
KJ's
telling us.
There was no clarification, no follow-up questions.
Right. Nice was an alternate juror. She wasn't even a main juror. Who joined the jury deliberations. She joined the deliberations. They had already sat through the whole trial. Now they're in the jury room. After 2 original jurors were removed. I forget the reasons why, but I was watching it at the time. I forget. The panel ultimately found Peterson guilty in 2004 of first-degree murder in the death of his wife and the second-degree murder of their unborn son. He was sentenced to death in 2005. Peterson's attorneys contended Among other things, that Nice sought to be on the jury because she wanted notoriety for financial reasons. They also argued that she lied about her lack of bias to get on the jury and lied again in her sworn declaration in 2020. Did she write a book? Is she rich? That's what I want to know. Peterson's attorneys have argued that Nice's nickname for Connor, Little Man, was among several indications that she was biased against their client. What do you think about that?
Well, she's been contacting him, right? You said that earlier.
That's what they said.
She's been trying to contact him. She's given his baby, Lacey's baby.
It's also Scott's baby. That was confirmed.
I know that.
No, I'm saying it was
But
confirmed
I just
through
hate to
autopsy.
even, I mean, he doesn't love his baby if he would do this, but
I mean, he's trying to say he didn't do it. So she's given the baby the name Little Man. He's not even born. He is viable, but he's not even born. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, what kind of wackadoodle mess is this?
yeah, but it's more like she sounds like she's on his side than she's not. Do you think this was some kind of course, it wouldn't take them 20 years.
Well, let's finish reading, and then we will find out.
Okay. I use the terms little man on small boys, nothing personal.
I mean,
not
maybe
a
she
nickname.
just didn't want to say his name.
KJ.
Maybe, you know, it was hard. Think about the photos. Think about the things that they had to listen to. Think about the autopsies. They had to listen to autopsy reports of Lacey's torso and this baby.
Yeah.
And they had to hear all of this. What happens is when a pregnant lady dies, I know this is probably too much for most of y'all. When a pregnant lady dies, and the number one reason pregnant women in the United States, or maybe the world, die, do you know what it is? The number one reason.
I mean, I probably should, but I don't.
It's okay. Partner homicide. Their partner kills them. That's the number one reason. Look it up. Look it up. It's not PIH. It's not eclampsia. It's not a amniotic embolism. The number one reason that women in this world die when they're pregnant is because their partner murders them.
That is terrible.
It is terrible, but I'm just pointing out facts to you. I'm just giving you straight up facts. Now, they had to listen to, after a pregnant woman dies and the baby is still in the womb, the mother gives birth. The baby is coming out of her. It's coming out of her. Those gases that we were talking about, those things, expelled the baby. They were trying to say that something happened to the baby because the baby had plastic around him. The baby had to float how far in the ocean to get to the shore?
So sad.
Okay, I know that was deep. But I wanted to give some little context there. Okay. And a former fellow juror testified in March that Nice walked into the jury room during deliberations in 2004 and blurted out that he should basically pay for killing Little Man. Now I'm gonna stop right here because I'm gonna say this. I don't get a lot of information about what is discussed or not discussed in the jury room. You've been in one. But I would feel like if you've sat through these long, lengthy, high-profile, high-stake murder of an unborn baby, murder of a mother, thing going on, case going on, you've looked at these horrific pictures, you would be about to bust at your mouth as to what to say. I'm not saying what she said was appropriate. I'm just saying that you would be like, once you got in the room, like it was about to come out of my mouth, but I've had to hold it in. Now I can say what I want to say.
Because she's seen all this horrific stuff you just talked about, and she thinks he needs to pay.
Well, give us some actual juror insight.
I mean, you would, which you're told really not to talk about the case that much till like the
not
end.
that much at all. at all. You cannot talk about it at all until you get the case in the jury room.
Yeah, you can't, like, we aren't, like, when we go in there in the mornings and meet and go in, no, we did not talk about it at all.
But what I'm saying is when they gave it to you, now you're in the room and you're sitting down, did anybody, like, outwardly, like, say, oh, my gosh, I've been dying to say this for 3 weeks?
Well, what they said was, okay, first of all, let's see.
This is real experience.
Yes, they said, because everybody knew that it sounded like he was not. It was just, he wasn't guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
But you don't know how everybody feels until you go into the room and sit down.
When we sat down and they said, okay, I mean, everybody, we did a vote, like, right away, because everybody felt that and everybody voted the same way. But then, after we voted it, then we started talking about the back and forth, the inconsistencies, and we did request some information just to verify things that we thought before we said, okay, and then
But you can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
There's no rule.
Oh, yeah, we said whatever we wanted to say.
There's no rule that says once you are on the jury and you get in a jury room, you cannot say
you can't even talk. Yeah, you can't even talk to the jurors until the end of the case. Like, we're not supposed to be discussing it even till the end of the case.
You cannot discuss no part of it.
Right.
That is facts.
Mm-hmm.
They admonish the jury every time about it.
Yes.
At least they do on court TV.
Okay. They do. Yeah, that's what they did.
Nice testified earlier that she held no bias against Peterson until after she heard the evidence that he dumped his wife's body in San Francisco Bay on Christmas Eve 2022. So renowned attorney and former homicide detective Ted Williams, who had been following the ongoing proceedings, told Fox News Digital during Thursday's lunch break that the defense team, I want you to hear this,
okay,
has a high bar to get Scott Peterson's sentence overturned. This is what he says. I'm going to quote it. I believe that even if you had a juror who did not properly answer on the questionnaire, that in of itself is not enough to get a sentence overturned, said Williams, who is also Fox News contributor, unless they can show. They can't just go in there and just rattle it off at the mouth. They have to have the evidence that she, by virtue of what she had to say, was able to influence all the jurors other than just participating as a juror, that also will not get this verdict overturned. Williams said he was deeply concerned and had personal experience as an attorney in trying to have a jury verdict tossed. They have got to show that what this juror did prejudiced the case against Scott Peterson so that he was found guilty, predicated and based upon anything she specifically did, he went on. That's not going to be easy. The evidence against Peterson, Williams said, was overwhelming. Scott Peterson is lucky because everything that I know about this case leads me to believe that Scott Peterson should be on death row rather than serving the rest of his life in a cell, he added. This man is an attorney. He's not just some Joe Blow on here blowing out a bunch of hot air like we are on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Williams said he believed each side was putting on a very good case. They're doing the best they can. He called Gardner ferocious in making his points and said he was dealing with the law as best he can. He added, I will be deeply surprised if the court overturns the sentence of Scott Peterson and gives him a new trial. Now, that's coming from an attorney on the court TV. I know exactly who he's talking about. That doesn't mean it won't happen. He's just saying that it's a high burden to overturn it.
So if it's overturned,
they'll do a new trial. They'll release him on bond, probably. It is California. I'm going to put that out there.
Look, they're saying something. She's saying, do a lot of people in your area drive Jeeps? I swear that white one has gone past you too a couple of times while you are filming this. That's Nancy Browning, and Tina Reddington said it's probably a cop wondering what the heck they are up to.
Yeah.
You're probably
hearing
right.
us. Probably we got the windows down, so he's probably hearing us get a little passionate up in here and thinking, what the heck are these?
Yeah, I think we're up in
what
here.
do you think of these middle-aged women?
Yeah.
Or older age women talking about?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, so
I
feel like they're not going to overturn it because it would take. Like I'm with him. I don't think one juror would have overturned this. Like I don't think she could have made everybody else say, "Oh, he's guilty." I don't think it would have been just her. I think the evidence proves.
Now, I'm going to tell you what correlates to the case that we are currently so entrenched in is the condition of the remains when they were found. Tells us nothing. They cannot tell us how Laci Peterson died. They cannot tell us this.
Mm-mm.
The remains can't tell us this. We have no real evidence that tells us this. We don't know. There's theory, there's conjecture, like we do all the time on here, but we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you this. Having the body helps a lot in these types of cases. Mm-hmm. Where the body is found helps a lot in these types of cases.
Which really will help in this case, I think. In the Chad and Lori case, I mean.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I hope this is not overturned. So now you're going to have to, this is one of those things where, so
we will know.
Okay, so I have a question. So you can't be tried twice for the same murder.
If you are acquitted, yes. Or found not guilty, yes.
If you're found not guilty. But if you're found guilty,
mm-hmm.
and then they go through all this and overturn it, then they can try you again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we definitely need them to find him guilty.
Because remember, it happened to
Chad and Lori guilty.
It happened in the case that we were talking about.
That motorcycle's playing music.
Remember the case that we were talking about where I watched?
Hey, Alpha Femme.
Where I watched the what was the name of those people that sort of did this? They were out there in Utah, and I watched that whole thing with Kirk Cameron and Goldie. Not Kirk Cameron. Kirk Russell and Goldie Hawn's son in it.
Oh yeah.
What was the name of those people?
Oh my gosh! I started watching it and I didn't finish watching it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, that had the
Well, one of them, they convicted him and then they retried him. They overturned it, they retried him, and they found him guilty again. It started with F.
The Laffertys.
Laffertys.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you, Tina. The Laffertys.
Yes.
So it does happen.
Yep.
It does happen. But I don't know if it's going to happen in this case.
I hope they don't try him again. I hope they just say, no, you're guilty.
Ted Williams thinks that it won't happen. Well, it won't stop. They'll keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on.
Yeah.
And, what's sad about that is, like, when you look at him, and you can see this on YouTube, of him sitting in the court, there's no remorse. There's no him thinking about his child that would be 20 years old. I mean, he is just narcissistic. Anna would like to go on here and go ahead and make announcement.
Okay.
Is it an announcement?
Yeah,
I'm going to make an announcement. We had a request.
Oh, yes, we did.
We had a request. Somebody wants us to put our nursing expertise up with some psych medicine. and do a little review. We didn't have time to dig into it. I wanted to dig into it. I thought, well, maybe we could do it. Maybe we could do it before this video. And then I thought, I want to do it right. If I'm going to do it. But I want to do it right because, first of all, even though we do have some encounters with this, and we have nursing knowledge of it, I really want to be up to date.
Oh, yeah.
Up to date.
Yes. I used to work with them a lot more when I worked in the ER. I worked with psych patients. And then we do some, with some patients that we recover. But, yes, it's been a while. I really want to. But
after Lori's display in court, they really want to know about the medicine. Would the medicine make her affect her acting this way? Not connected with reality.
Yep. That's right.
And so what we're going to do is probably pick a couple of diagnoses. We are not psych nurses and we are not psych doctors.
That's right.
And we have not evaluated Lori Daybell. No. We want to make it clear.
No, we have not.
So we'll probably pick 2 or 3 things that she could be suffering with, or maybe how they would approach like a psychotic break.
Right.
But again, we're gonna delve into that next time.
We are. We need to do a little research with some
of our
people we work with.
I was sitting close to the doctor today. I almost asked him.
But
he was on limited time, so I couldn't ask him. But I almost asked him. But we'll get into it next time.
We will.
Somebody asked us. I like that.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting conversation.
It'll be a very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
First of all, medicines have side effects. And I'm going to tell you, unless you really are translated, speak it. And the dosage is correct and therapeutic. There ain't much you can do about it.
No.
You might can do something about it for a little bit. If your adrenaline's high.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened to poor little JJ. They knew that he was strong-willed, strong spirit. If his adrenaline got going, I mean, you about can't stop a person when their adrenaline's going, but eventually they have to come down.
Yeah.
They have to come down. So I'm just saying, you can't, like I said.
You can't fight it myself.
Lori could not fight ECT treatment.
No.
Remember that? Remember we had that conversation with KJ?
Yes, I do remember
In the mountains.
Yes.
Yeah.
I sure do.
And I can assure you she ain't translated.
No. She is not.
Oh, and she can't switch into her portals.
No.
She can't teleport nowhere.
No.
Just over to the little silver pot she's got going on.
Right.
That's all she can teleport to, y'all.
That's exactly right. Put her in a straight jacket and padded room. That's right, KJ. That is right.
I mean, I felt like we covered a book today.
We did. We covered a lot.
We covered a lot.
Yes.
But it was a lot that needed to be said.
It was.
And I feel like we've talked about it twice.
Yeah, it was very good information. Yes. Yeah, I knew we were going to talk about Scott Peterson, and I knew there was something up with the trial, but I didn't know it was all this about this juror. I knew it was something about a juror.
It's only about a juror. Now look, I can't say what this juror's intentions were. I do not know her. I didn't read her 163 questions. I cannot make a judgment on that because I am not the judge.
Right.
We've discussed it before.
Yeah.
We are not the judge. I am not the judge. I'm not the judge in this case. They will look at it. They will look at all this information, and they will make the best decision possible. But what I would say is, it doesn't matter that he can't produce these cement anchors. It doesn't matter that they have all this evidence against him, that he was telling his, that he was, I forgot about all this, that when they were tracking him and they were getting ready to arrest him, he had changed his hair color, he had all this cash, he had a knife, he had some camping equipment, he had, a map to Amber, her name was Amber.
Uh-huh.
The girl he was having an affair. He had all of that, and again, what I would like to say is, having a map to your girlfriend's house does not make you on the run. But when we put it all together,
that's right.
When we put it all together,
You're
Would
on
a
the
reasonable
run. Yeah.
person be doing this?
Mm.
And this was after the bodies washed up, might I add. They did not arrest him until those bodies washed up.
Here again, we say
Criminals get arrested for
That's
doing
right.
stupid things.
That's exactly
Doing
right.
stupid things.
And then looking guilty after they do it.
And here's the thing. I remember it. It tore my heart out. Sharon Rocha, the mother, is up there crying in the where the family gets to the victim impact statements is what they call them. And she's looking at him. She doesn't recognize this person. And this is a person that she defended at first. Right? Until the evidence really started coming in. And she says to him, "Why didn't you get divorced? Why didn't you get divorced? Tell me why I didn't get divorced, Jenny."
Because he would have had to pay child support.
And probably alimony.
And probably alimony.
I don't
'Cause he's
think he really
selfish.
wanted the child. Narcissistic.
And narcissistic.
Mhm.
And he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't look remorseful. He looked guilty when he got arrested. Who else looked guilty when they got arrested?
Lori Daybell.
That's right.
Chad Daybell.
That's right.
When he's sitting there watching and telling her,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, they're in the yard. They're on the property. They're on the property. Are you doing okay?" No. I didn't know that. I mean, I heard that whole thing, but again, when you can read the words in the transcription, my children have turned me on to this, and if I haven't told you, at first I was like, I can't watch no movie with the closed captioning on. But I have learned to do it, and I pick up every word.
Yeah.
Have you done this?
I do it sometimes, yes.
Especially if you're watching something
Yeah,
like Harry Potter.
Or something, yeah,
Something that has a lot of weird words in it,
Mhm.
like Star Wars or something like that.
Yes.
If it's a regular movie, I mean, I can
Yeah.
watch Elvis without
Oh,
anybody
yes.
giving me any words.
right.
I could tell you the words in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm upset about that all over again. Him and Olivia Newton-John, I mean, they have just like,
I know.
I'm feeling my age. I wasn't feeling it before. I really wasn't.
I know.
But I'm feeling it now. Read what they're saying.
Well, yeah.
We're going to have to go because
Yeah.
Miss Jenny's going to have to go to work tomorrow.
Great comparisons, a lot to think about. Allison Umpleby says, they're talking about, I saw them talking about castor beans. Is it castor beans? Yes, are poisonous. That's what Tina Reddington says.
Make no mistake, I will go ahead and tell you right now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We will know how Tammy died. We will know how JJ died.
Yeah,
That we will know.
that's right.
Just go ahead and they already know how they died. The medical examiner already knows.
Yeah.
And has made a report and give it to the prosecution, and I'm sure the defense knows it too. They already know.
Yeah.
They already know.
I'm sure they do. And Jean Panek says there was a Dr. Green in Kansas City who poisoned her husband with castor beans and caught her house on fire with the kids inside. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Lynn says, "Oh, we're funny. Thank you."
We're just being us. I mean,
hey y'all, Letitia Stalk hearing tomorrow, who claims she is not guilty but insane for killing Gannon. Jean Panek.
Gann, I know all about this case. I don't.
Hey, Ron
excuse me.
Hensley.
I shouldn't say I know all about this case. Jenny, this little boy Gannon, who was precious, just a sweetheart of a looking little boy, maybe 10, 12, 11, somewhere in there. And he had this stepmom. I forget where his mom was, but he had this stepmom. And his dad was in the military. And the stepmom kind of puts on this show that she's taking good care of him. So the dad goes off to do the things that military people do, which we appreciate. Right?
Yes, we do appreciate
Your dad was in the military.
Yes.
My dad was in the military.
Very much.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
We wouldn't be where we are today without these people who who are willing, you know, whether they paid the ultimate sacrifice or not, they're willing to do it.
That's right.
They're willing to do it.
That's exactly right.
So I'm going to put that out there. We love the military.
Yes, we do.
But something happens. She beats this child to death. I don't know. There's blood all in the room. She drives the child. When I tell you this is like in Utah, out there somewhere, Las Vegas, Nevada, I don't know, somewhere out in there, Colorado. She drives this boy's body to Florida, dumps him on the side of the road.
Oh my God.
Did you hear what I'm telling you?
Oh.
I want to say his mama, I've seen his mama. His mama looked like a great mama. I don't know why he wasn't with her at this particular time. Maybe it was just his dad's summer or visitation. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't understand what's wrong with these women. I don't.
Yeah, me either. I mean,
not.
How can you do that to anybody, period, much less a sweet, precious child?
You know what it is? It's jealousy.
Yeah.
It's jealousy. It's, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be with a man who loves his children.
Yeah. You should want him to love his children, even
you
if
would
they're not
want him
yours.
to love his children.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be a good man if he
Yes.
loves and provides and takes care and puts a priority on his children.
Yes, that's
I don't
exactly
understand
right.
it, but
either.
I mean, you know.
Me either.
But anyway, this happened, and she tried to defend herself. She's crazy as a loon. I mean, anybody can tell. She tried to defend herself in court. They had to tell her, yeah, you ain't capable. You're going to have to get yourself a lawyer. We're going to have to give you a lawyer.
My gosh.
That girl, Nora, I don't know if her name's Nora Jasmine. I don't know if you've seen her, but she is hilarious. She's really into true crime, too. She wears those, she makes aluminum hats when she's like speculating or making a theory analysis, you know, like just what our own little mind and experience can piece together.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to have to go because I know Jenny got to go to work tomorrow. What time is it? 10 o'clock.
We've been having fun, though.
We've been having a great time. We've been having a great
Talking
time.
to each other.
Been
That's
having
right.
a great time.
Yes, we have.
I mean,
yeah.
you know, I could do it all night long.
Yeah.
Could talk about all kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I do have to get up, I guess. That 5 day a week, which I know most people work 5 days a week, so I know I sound awful when I say these things. But I'm used to, for years, working 3 12-hour shifts, so.
Nursing provides you with so many opportunities to work a schedule that is adaptable to your lifestyle.
Yeah, and I still do weekends and things like that, so it's not like just a regular 5 day week, but yeah, it's, let's see. Tina said it's only 7 here. See, we could stay with her 3 more hours.
Stay
and
with
still be
yeah,
10.
we could
That's
talk
right.
to her. We could talk to her.
All right, everybody. Yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up and then talk psych meds next week.
Next week, we're going to do our due diligence.
That's right.
We're going to do our due diligence. We're going to get up to date. You know what that means?
Up to date, like, what do you mean up to date?
Like, you know how you can go on the medical thing, up to date?
Oh, up to date at work, yes.
Yeah, and you're up to date.
Yes.
We're going to get up to date. We're going to read you what these meds are for, what they actually do, side effects.
We might see some of these
How
symptoms.
you would know
yes.
if they were at a therapeutic level. How would you know if they're not at a therapeutic level?
That's right.
It's going to be a crash course in psych
Yes.
meds. Again, we do not know the actual medication list of any said individuals.
No, we do not. We do not
We
know
do not.
what they're on, for sure.
But we're just going to pick a couple of what we think she might get diagnosed with. Again, we don't know.
We don't.
We're not psych doctors.
No.
And we will hit the high meds for that. Oh, KJ's calling.
KJ!
Well, you know what? We're going to have to answer it. Oh, gosh. Well, she hung up.
Well, we don't know how to answer it.
Well, I can answer it on here. She was calling me.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hold on a minute?
Yeah.
KJ, if you want to call back, just call back. What's that thing up to the clock? Oh, it's an X. See, I have to have my readers to
Here
read
she's
them.
saying something.
Okay. Let's see what KJ's saying. Sins of Our Mother official trailer Netflix.
Oh, there
Okay,
she
here we
is.
go. KJ,
Hey,
hey girl, you on live with us? You through the
hey,
car? I don't know
how's
if
it
they can
going?
hear you, but
You ain't got it on speaker?
I do have it on speaker. Is that okay?
Yeah, can everybody hear it though?
Can y'all hear KJ?
Can you hear? Tell us if you hear.
KJ, say something.
Hey everybody, it's
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
They said
hear.
yep, so you go ahead.
Well, I had to call in because I wrote on the thing and I didn't get an answer. Have y'all seen the Netflix thing coming up on September 15th?
No.
It's a documentary with Kobe. I just sent it to your phone, the trailer of it. It's through Netflix. They're doing a whole three-part docuseries.
Well, you know I'm gonna watch it.
Oh yes, definitely.
More than once, probably.
Do y'all have Netflix?
I
Yes.
sure do.
Yes.
Okay, it's called The Sins of the Mother.
Sins of Our Mother official trailer on the Netflix.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh.
I'm really hoping to get y'all's insights on that.
All right. We'll have to watch it.
I tell you, KJ, when you just called in, it reminded me back in the day on the DJs that people would call in and make requests or talk to the DJ
They
person.
sure would.
Didn't you
On
feel
the radio.
that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I do have a request.
Give it to us.
I want a big hug from both of y'all. I miss you both.
Oh,
we
my
miss
gosh.
you.
We miss you so much.
Yes.
And we're still going to sometime late this year. We're all going to get together
Yes.
up in the mountains or something.
I mean, I can't
Absolutely.
wait.
Yes.
Yeah, have y'all been dealing with your schedules and trying to figure all that out?
Yes.
Yes, hers is easier to look at. I told her to look at hers, and then I'm going to look at mine. I mean, mine is easier to look at than hers. She's supposed to pick today, and then we're going to let you know.
Okay, because it would have to be a week. It would have to be a weekend, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, it'd have to be a
Unfortunately, yeah.
weekend.
Okay. The reason I asked is, like I told you, I wanted to pay for the accommodations and everything, but I got to know some dates.
You don't have to do that.
No, I really do. I really do. I have all these timeshare points that you can use on other things aside from the timeshares. So it's not a lot of money out of our pockets or anything. We just use the point system through RCI.
Well, you are so generous, and Jenny's supposed to be looking
Yes.
into it and let me know, and then I'm going to let you know.
Well, y'all need to let me know ASAP so I can start looking because they start to fill up,
Okay.
Exactly.
and I want to make sure to give y'all plenty nice places to stay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you.
Well,
yes.
thank you so much.
All right, y'all are rocking it on your live streams.
Thank you.
We're trying.
I'm very heartfelt about y'all using your community wall. I think that's one of the best tools on YouTube. Using your community wall is very important.
Did you see the pictures of Chad?
I did. I saw them. She did a complete makeover of him, didn't she?
Oh my gosh, it's hard to believe.
It is.
I hope they show all of those pictures like that and more in the
Yep.
court,
Yep.
in the
I
trial.
mean, she, for some reason, she wasn't going to need her scissors to cut Chad's hair anymore because she gave them to Zulema. Does that make sense?
It does not
No.
make sense. There's something to that. I believe, like I said earlier, nothing they did was of logical thought. It all had to do with their own hiding something, something to further them into whatever it was they were contemplating doing. It had nothing to do with logical thoughts.
No.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about $1,000 scissors, Zulema must have been a form of hush money or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Zulema can't cut hair.
She
No.
cannot cut hair. It probably cut something like duct tape. And I'm
Yeah,
going to tell y'all, I've watched these trials, and they will put it to where the duct tape was actually manufactured, where it was sold, when it was sold. These are the types of things that these forensic people can figure out. Where these trash bags, what lot they were made in. We don't think about it because we're not out here trying to commit crimes. And I'm just letting you know, crime don't pay. Don't be
No,
committing no
that's right.
crimes, especially killing people.
That's right.
But if you put something in a trash bag and they find the trash bag, if it's bad enough, they can actually figure out the lot number, where it was made, what store it was
Yep.
sold at. Then let's say it's bought at Walmart. They can go back and look at those Walmart receipts and find out almost exactly what day it was sold.
That's crazy.
And then find the person in the line now doing self-checkout.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Did you know you work for Walmart when you go? Doing self-checkout.
Oh, well.
You're bagging your own stuff.
Well, you're right.
But anyways,
You're
true
right.
stuff. I'm telling y'all, I don't know how we're going to work when this thing goes to trial, because I'm going to want to be there soaking up every minute.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do, Jenny?
I don't know.
I guess that when it comes down to it, the good question that I don't think anybody has an answer for is why, if you've got black trash bags and you've got white drawstring bags, why put the white drawstring bag over JJ's head? Why not just put another black trash bag over his head?
Exactly.
Why did it have to be a different kind of bag?
There's something to it. We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something to it.
Mm.
And I'm sure they went into the condos, and I'm sure that, like, when Alex and Lori are emptying out the condos, they're not necessarily there was stuff still left in there, JJ's medicine, all kind of stuff left in there. And think about what's in the storage unit is in trash bags.
Yeah.
Yep.
These trash bags are going to tell a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crescia said that they might have used up the whole rows of duct tape just so they wouldn't have any left over for evidence.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. But that's, yeah.
But they put it on the bodies.
Well, they didn't think at that point.
Right.
They thought they were getting away with it at that point.
I'm just telling you, I hope Lori's fingerprints is on it. I hope Chad's fingerprints is on it. I know Alex's
Yes.
fingerprints is on it. But I hope those other two, the fingerprints is all on it.
Yep, I hope so too.
Don't you?
Oh yeah. I want there to be evidence that like they cannot get out of. That's what I want.
I believe it's going to be there.
Yeah.
I really do. Now, whether they can, you got 12 people who have to be able to connect the dots.
Yeah. They don't know everything we know.
Right.
12 competent people that's not going to pull a Scott Peterson.
Right.
This is true.
Exactly.
We need 12 honest. That's why I say we need to be praying for this jury. We need the jury made up of these people who are not, they don't have agendas. They're not looking for their own fame. They can look at the actual justice for these poor people and these children.
Oh, I hope Gibbs' prints are on there
that
too.
would be good.
That's
if
what
Melanie,
Tina Reddington said.
if
Oh,
Melanie
yeah.
Gibbs' prints are there, she will be getting some cuffs, honey.
Yeah.
Cuffs. What about David
Yeah.
Warwick too?
That's right.
Melanie P.
Yep.
Ian.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All the people who were at the
Yeah.
the real estate thing.
Yeah. If they know as much as we think they know, yeah, I hope there's evidence to get them too. Oh my gosh.
I'm sticking with my theory that as soon as they took that picture of JJ on the couch, that's when all of it began on JJ. I don't think he did it. I don't believe the whole story about the picture of Jesus being knocked off or anything like that. I
Me
believe
either.
it happened that Sunday.
Yep.
I believe you're right, and that's what we were saying earlier in the live is when they took the picture of JJ with the red pajamas on, especially if Lori took it, she's not taking it, looking at it like I would look at a picture like, this is my child. I need to take this picture. This is the last picture they're going to have. I'm all sorrowful and all that stuff. That's not the mindset she had. She took that picture for some
Yeah.
weird reason. We don't know what that is, but I do believe you're right.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And
well, some say it was a way for her to say, JJ's not dead. Look, here's a
Yeah.
picture of
And
it.
that's
That's true.
probably
That's
exactly
true.
why she did it.
did you hear what Jenny said about the blanket?
What about it?
Jenny said that, you tell her, Jenny, because you're the one that said it. You're the one that came up with it.
I said that she might have said bury him with the blanket because maybe that's a blanket that he had all the time, and she didn't want that found anywhere because then somebody would say JJ would never leave this blanket. Where is JJ? So she buried the blanket with him so that people wouldn't question if they saw it where he was.
Oh, and
If
that's a
she was
really,
saying, he's at
yeah.
Melanie Gibbs or whatever, she was trying to feed everybody.
When I addressed this on that last live stream, it has come to me now, y'all, that maybe there was some kind of evidence on that blanket, and they just shoved it in the bag.
Yep.
It wasn't to keep him warm. It wasn't to conceal him. It was to get rid of evidence. That's what I think.
And when you poison people, when poison goes in your body, your body tries to reject it. So usually you get sick, or pink
Throw
frothy
up.
foam, or something like that. I mean,
Yep.
that just does happen a lot.
Yeah.
People don't just drift off to sleep and that's the end of it. It usually is not a very pretty picture.
I say they put that blanket in there on him because it had evidence on it.
Yep.
You know how murderers, they'll take all their stuff and they'll bury it in with they'll bury the bloody clothes or whatever in with the body.
Yes.
I think now that I've had time to think of it, the blanket was definitely something. It had something on that blanket, whether he urinated on it, whether he threw up,
Yeah.
whether he had tears, whatever, and they shoved that whole thing in the bag.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I
believe
think
it
so
too.
too.
Because they sure weren't doing it. Oh, here, JJ, let's keep you warm.
No.
No. No.
No.
But I think Lori, she definitely had her part in it.
Oh yes. Absolutely. Mm-mm-mm.
Well, I think she helped at least them bind him up.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Look, think about when a child is waking up out of anesthesia, how many people sometimes it takes to
Oh yeah.
to be around the child and make the child safe
Yes.
when the child is thrashing around and all these other
Yes.
things.
Yep.
Does that happen?
It does.
Does it take sometimes
It does.
3 or 4
Three or
people?
Yeah, it does.
And that's not even somebody as big as
Yeah,
JJ
like I'm
was. I
talking
mean, we're
2, 3,
talking like a 2,
4-year-olds.
3-year-old child.
Mm-hmm.
To know that when he put on those red pajamas and those black socks, that would be the very last outfit he would wear.
It's heartbreaking.
They have no souls.
They don't.
They have no souls to be able to, plan, knowing that morning this is what you're going to be doing. And they did that with Tylee too. They did it with Charles when he come through the door. They knew exactly what they were going to do.
Yes, they did.
It didn't erupt. I'm not saying there wasn't some altercation, but if it was a planned altercation to get the emotions going up,
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
There was no de-escalation in any of it.
Mm-mm.
No de-escalation.
No, she wanted to take it to the hilt.
Yes.
Yeah. She wanted to escalate it by would give him his phone back.
That's right.
Mm.
This woman's supposed to be so scared of him, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Such an act. She's so manipulative.
It's crazy.
And she's continuing to do that now.
They're doing a sealed hearing on Chad the 31st
of August.
Yeah, the end of this month. They're doing a sealed hearing for him and John Pryor. We have not a clue what it's about, but we've already got confirmation of it. It's a motion hearing that's sealed.
What do you think it is?
I think it has to do with what John Pryor had talked about in the past about the grand jury, because it can't be about the DNA because that's already been stipulated. I don't see it. He has. If you look at the motions he filed, none of the ones that he has filed should be under seal. So, and then of course the judge shot down Lori Hellis's motion. I'm sure you heard that.
I did not hear that, but how do you feel about that?
I'm going tomorrow evening. I'm going to read the whole document and the reasons why he shot her down. So,
well, if it hurt the case, I'm glad that it could have had potential to hurt the case.
Yes, yeah.
That's the way I'm leaning on it, Candace. She wanted to insert herself in a criminal case, and did you know by law in most states, even say Kay and Larry, they couldn't file something in a criminal case, and they're the victim's family members.
Yeah.
So why would this woman be able to do it? You see?
Yeah. I ain't never heard of such.
It's two litigants. It's the state and the accused. Those are the only two. And it's all pretty well documented out in the legal order there. And I said I wasn't gonna go over any of that no more, but it's this legal stuff that needs to go on the record. So I'm gonna go over that tomorrow evening.
Yeah. Well, we need to be getting our legalese on.
Yeah,
right?
And then I'm gonna get into cell phone forensics. And those are the two topics I'll be speaking on tomorrow night. So.
Be good.
Oh yeah.
Be good.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about the GPS, and it's not just about the text messages, and it's not just about the phone call. It's a lot more that they can find out about all this, and through cell phone forensics, and I want to go over.
That'll be good.
I wonder, we talk about it all the time. I don't know if you've ever heard this, KJ, but if you're just really just talking about something around your phone, all of a sudden, like your Facebook and your Instagram will start showing you things about that. Like, let's say you're talking about weight loss. All of a sudden, you start getting these weight loss ads. You didn't search weight loss. You just happened to talk about it. Now my phone's going to be full of it.
Right.
But you just happen to be talking about it in the vicinity of your phone because your phone kind of stays where you are. And I wonder...
Did they do that with YouTube?
I think they do it with everything.
Yeah.
I think the phone listens to us.
I don't have an Instagram or Facebook, so I don't really...
Well, and I think it does it with even email. Like, it'll do that with email, too. Like, I'll be talking about ordering a pizza, and 10 minutes later, I'm getting an email from Domino's. That kind of stuff. I have had that happen.
So wonder if they could look at their phones or look back at any kind of social media or emails that they had and things that were popping up on their emails. There has to be a way to trace what your phone is listening to.
Yeah. Craig out that Lori, all the way back since 2006, she's a walker,
Yeah.
and they have apps on your phone, those health apps,
Yeah.
steps you take.
Ooh.
And I would like to know what steps she took the night Tammy was died,
That's
or
true.
steps down there that weekend Melanie Gibb was there. That
Yep.
I'd like to know how many steps she took. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah, your
That
that
would
phone
be.
can coordinate all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. That's true.
uh, there is a court here, unrelated case on right now in Ohio. Matthew Moore, who murdered his wife, manually strangled her, took her down in the woods and did a false, make it look like she had killed herself. And overnight of that night, told the police he went to bed and everything, but it shows he's been on the phone, and every time the lights up on the phone, I mean, it's cell phone forensics. They can tell every damn move a phone makes. How like if you text Jenny, it'll light up on it whether she opens it or not.
Yes.
Well, they can tell you it's called cell activity, and they can tell you uh, everything you think of. And I'm going to go over a lot of stuff. Like, I hope Idaho somewhat of a good forensic team on that.
Yes.
They say one of the
They
best
need it.
ones in the nation is Celebrite, and that's what law enforcement uses. It's a program to go through digital forensics on cell phones and stuff. So yeah, we all know about the GPS coordinates, and we know about the stupid, ignorant text messages all these dumbasses did. But um, I'd like to know, because really, if they say Lori's phone was not out at Chad, does that mean Lori's not there?
Well, she could have had a burner phone.
That's true.
If Lori's phone wasn't out there and she left it back at her apartment, doesn't mean she wasn't
That's
out
right.
there.
No, it does not mean
That's
that.
right. She very well could have been out there.
And they can also show was there any activity on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, she could have been sitting in the booth at Del Taco with Alex.
Yep.
She could.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
And she couldn't get rid of all that iCloud stuff either, could she?
Well, she doesn't realize that your phone backs up. Everybody's phone does that. My phone doesn't do it as much because my internet's not that good at home. But if you live anywhere, like my mom has great internet, your phone is just automatically backing up every night, backing up photos, backing up what you've looked at, backing up your history of text messages, whether you delete them or not. And when you put photos on your phone and you delete them, there's another file that you have to go into that says recently deleted. Doesn't mean the police can't find it.
Right.
But there's another file that says recently deleted. Like, are you sure you want to delete these? The phone is trying to.
Well, if it's well, I mean, you've got the cloud that makes it easier, but also if they delete it off the phone and think they deleted off the cloud, I don't know if it's like a computer where you'd have a hard drive that they can get in and get everything off of
The
it.
police, the FBI can get it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, even in that interview with Melanie Gibb said, I deleted all that. I was all freaked out, and the police officer says, "Oh, that's all right. We can get those."
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, you know,
That's right.
She's gonna get hers, honey. It is coming.
they hit the system on who was, going to call her. Just call didn't mean they were going to answer. You could have called and kind of code in that, and they had a real sneaky communicating over phone.
If they can break codes from Russia to America, they can break what these people were putting down.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about the FBI. These people who were who look at codes all the time and can figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. What's this saying?
But I'm gonna go over that. And what I've done is gone down the timeline. I've started off with the whole issue with Charles and his phone, and the fact he had got Melanie Gibb from over there, and Melanie Gibb thought it was Lori's phone.
Yeah.
And just going from that to the timeline, not to just beat a dead horse on things we already know, but looking at other areas that maybe we're not aware of that could be looked at.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Lori had videos of her dancing. She had notes. She had speeches. She had all kinds of things in her phone. She had kept in her phone.
Well,
And
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I feel like, if we get to the relevant dates of all these murders, there had to be a lot of communication going on if Amy was murdered.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I don't believe Lori was in Hawaii, but she heard that Tammy had been murdered. I think she was in Arizona at the time. She just told her that she was in Hawaii and it was 6 a.m. Because the other travel things don't add up. You don't go from the way that their whole idea of, well, this is where she took a flight from here to here. Well, then she took a flight somewhere else, and yet she's on the plane saying she's in Hawaii and at 6 a.m. She could say anything, and they've done that even before that. When Zulema was saying she thought they were in Utah or somewhere cold because Lori got stuck in a vehicle. Well, they were lying to Zulema.
Yeah.
That's what Zulema fault.
Yeah.
It's all a big deception on travel, on any of that.
Well,
So,
and Tastefully Frugal on here said, let's see, she said on here something about if there's Bluetooth on the car, that can probably be tracked
Oh yeah.
as well. I didn't think about that.
Well, what I was thinking while y'all were talking about that is when Charles is shot, if Lori took his phone, all those places that she went, it will ping off of those towers wherever she went, where it was not back at that home when he says he's calling 911 that this just happened.
well, they've already established that he waited over 45 minutes to call police.
Yeah.
But I see where you're coming from. I know she got flip flops and took JJ to school. She wasn't gone that long.
She might have been in flip flops. She might have had to buy flip flops because maybe she stepped in blood. I'm just being serious.
And I'll tell you something else. That 52 days she was missing, everybody just starts it off. She went to Hawaii. The bottom line is that she could have been anywhere. Might have been to Hawaii one point. She flew around on so much you don't know where she was going. And that's going to come out in the trial. They're going to be able to show her travel. And I hope they get a good amount of cell phone forensics.
Yeah.
That show. I've been watching this other trial, and this guy said he fell asleep and everything, and didn't know where his wife and everything. But when they checked his phone, they realized he'd been up on and off all night in another room, messing with his phone, going online and everything. So he wasn't sleeping. So, and then this whole idea of find the phone, that thing on your phone.
Yes.
Yeah. And they don't even need that. I mean, there's something on there that already knows how to find you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have any of that turned off, I don't think. Turned on.
According to that, they got things they know, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Your
But
sins
it's
will
it.
find you out.
That's right.
Okay, I want you and Jen to do me a favor.
Okay.
I'm stuck between two songs for the beginning of my live stream tomorrow night. I want y'all to pick it for me.
Okay.
It's either Blondie Call Me or 8675309.
Oh, you
Oh,
know what I'm gonna pick?
Which one?
she
Y'all got
said
to.
call Jenny 8675309.
But I like Blondie.
I do. I love some
I
Blondie.
yeah.
Call me.
Call me.
Which
Call
which one?
me.
Is that the one y'all want to
Yeah.
do?
I
Yeah.
love that
Me
song.
too.
And I think it goes, when you said it, I thought, man, that's it right there.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I figured those were the two mostly about talking about telephones.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
I like Call Me. That'd be good.
it's my kind of music too, being
Yes.
the age woman I am. Okay,
Yep.
so I will be sure to dedicate that song when I sing it. I mean, I'm going to sing it. I'll lip sync and thing when I get done. Say thank you, Candy, for a wonderful pick of a song.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for asking us.
Hey, and we're still bouncing around this idea of all of us getting together next year at the end of the adjudication of this case up here near Fall Creek Falls. We've got some villas up here, and so it's a gated community, and I wanted to invite Krisha and Dickie and Jen and y'all to come up, and it's right next door to Falls.
Oh, that's
And
great.
maybe y'all can take time to do that next year. I'm thinking sometime in March or April.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds great.
It'd be our pleasure.
Yes.
But if y'all do want to, or if y'all can, I mean, don't put it off. I know y'all are, but really start to get down to the nitty gritty and find out what exactly dates y'all want to do this,
Okay.
and we'll end up in the Smokies or wherever you.
We love the Smokies,
Yes.
don't we, Jenny?
We do. We do.
Oh,
That sounds good.
and that's not too awful far. Y'all
No,
live.
no. We love it.
Okay. Um. So, but let's to make the accommodations.
All right. I'll get the dates to Candace tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll look at my calendar.
The sooner I can get it reserved and stuff, the better off I'll be.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds good.
Okay, 'cause I don't want to have to ride you ladies on, hey, y'all, come on, I need the dates, come on.
No, 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 no. I will. I'll text you tomorrow. I'll text her tomorrow.
Okay, sounds great. And I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all are doing excellent
Oh,
work over here.
thank
Thank you
you.
Hey,
so much.
I noticed you getting more and more people on your live stream. And I'm just so proud of y'all. I honestly wish I could do as good as y'all on some of these
Oh,
things.
Oh
my
my
'Cause
gosh,
gosh.
you do
You do
way
so
better.
great.
y'all just, the way y'all put it, I'll just put you this way. When I walk through the house
It's
and
not
y'all
true.
are speaking on live stream, my husband stops me and wants to listen. And then my son, he says, y'all are the boss. Because he really listening. We drove back from that concert, listened to y'all the whole time, all the way back.
Oh,
He just loves y'all. He really does. And I'm like, well, dang. I know I'm abrasive with that thing, but everybody that loves Candace, my friend Jenny, I said I knew they would. I just knew they would.
Well, we love
oh.
Andrew, true,
Yes, we
right?
do. Yes, we do.
We do, for
Uh,
sure.
And Wayne, yes.
And Wayne is a heartbreaker right there.
And of course, our
you know,
KJ.
he sat on the phone with the clock last night for over an hour. They just talked about life. They didn't talk about the case or nothing.
Oh,
Oh. And Larry told him, said, I don't want to bother you. And Wayne says, I've always got time for you. And
that's sweet.
That's so
but
sweet.
Wayne called him because y'all saw the court TV with Larry and Kay, right?
Yes.
And where Larry said, we just want the bodies. You know, when Larry,
Yes.
Larry said, please, we just want to bury JJ,
It's
you know.
heartbreaking. Yes, it's heartbreaking.
So Wayne called him to tell him he's sorry and that he was hurting and all that. Larry told him, said, I lost my mind. And Wayne said, you didn't lose your mind. He said, you said what needed to be said.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, him and Larry they're like two peas in a pod.
No.
They really get along. They're old school guys, you know.
Yes.
So they really understand each other really well.
That's good.
That is.
So anyway, if it's possible, I think Candace, you said you're off tomorrow, but you got to work, Jenny.
Yes.
Well, Candace, if you can, come on this live stream tomorrow evening and give me some thought provoking questions and answers and things,
I will do my very best.
because you always come up with good ones.
She does.
It gets my brain working. I can't help but not just keep digging and digging, thinking about it.
You do amazing at that.
I can't walk away from it. Can y'all?
No.
Mm.
I keep saying, oh, I can walk away from, but I just can't.
Yeah.
It's something that drives me forward. I think it's the good Lord trying to help me through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's brilliant, the dichotomy and the contrast, comparing contrast that y'all do on y'all's content. It really sinks into me.
Well, good. I think we can, I just try to seek out stuff that this could happen in our case
Mm-hmm.
that we're following. What can we learn from that? What can we be looking for? Hopefully, this will not happen when they're viduring these jurors.
Right.
For this case.
Right.
I do believe they have, in the state of Idaho, they have 2 alternate jurors. So there'll be 14 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So some states have like 18, but you would think they'd have more than 2 alternates with this being death penalty.
And a bigger case.
Yes.
Yeah. And some states, you're the alternate, and some states you don't know. Because in Virginia, that Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, all of them sat there, and then the judge pulled the numbers. Do you remember that?
That's right.
And told these 2 jurors or 3 jurors you were excused. So you didn't know.
I would say it would be different in a death penalty criminal case. Amber Heard and them, that was a civil case.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that was unusual. I've never really seen that before.
No.
But again, that was probably the first real civil trial I had watched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in the live.
Right.
Where you're into every minute of it. That you can't.
Right. Well, speaking of civil court, one of the reasons Judge Boyce told Lori Hellis no and turned her down on all that was because she was relying on civil rules and procedures, and this is a criminal case.
Wow.
So I don't know if she thought she was doing the right thing or what, but he did say denied without prejudice. So maybe she can come back and do something that he says she did. He did point out several things she did wrong, and she can tweak it or whatever and resend it back in. I don't know, but I just think it's appalling in my view when you've got your whole motivation is to make money, and for her book. That's not a good enough reason. I mean, people might say, oh, she's doing this for everyone. No, she's not. She'll do it for everyone, and she'll share it with everyone with a price tag on it.
Right.
So that's disgusting to me. And I don't want to see anything, because if she's laid out all these things, y'all are doing all this wrong, this is all unconstitutional. Well, what's that say to an appeals court?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want nothing wrong with this case. I don't need
No.
someone, an intervener coming in there, self-serving intervener coming in there and putting these words like this is unconstitutional and all this that out there when we're trying our best to do. Judge is trying to do what he can to keep everything administratively on track.
Yeah.
And each state has different laws. I mean, it's not a federal case.
Right.
It's the state of Idaho
Exactly.
against the Daybells.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
right. But once they're convicted, Candace, once they're convicted, that's when you have state appeals, then you have federal
Oh,
appeals.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, which will go on forever, you know.
Yes.
And I hope it goes on till they both are carried out in cedar boxes.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
right. That's right.
Because I don't see either one. I really don't see either one of them getting the death penalty. I see if one of them's going to get it, it'll be Chad. Lori's been in a mental hospital, and that's a mitigating factor. And I don't think they'll put her to death.
I know. I'm anxious to see if that Parkland High School shooter gets the death penalty in Florida. They're saying that his mother took drugs when he was in the womb. Of course, they come up with all these mitigating factors, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And then he went to McDonald's, and he pleaded guilty to all these things. He did, but it'll be interesting to see if they give him the death penalty. But different states are different about it. Like Texas, if they were in Texas, I would about say, oh yeah, they're gonna get it.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
What state? Where's this at?
Florida.
Florida. Well, they're a pretty conservative state themselves.
Yeah.
Under the leadership of Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wish that I've seen a couple of these people who've done these school shootings, and we don't have a lot of information of them before, but then we get this information of them in court, how they're remorseful and crying, and they didn't have help, and I'm thinking, could somebody have not helped these people before they did this?
Yeah.
Well, they got the Chumleys or whatever. Those parents are in jail. Their son did that, did a school shooting, and the parents are being charged with involuntary manslaughter.
Well, that's up in Michigan, right? Or somewhere up in there.
Somewhere to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got a diary where the boy's saying, my parents won't help me. They won't let me get medicine. And then you bought him a gun knowing he had mental illness.
Well, I mean, who's responsible for all that?
The parents.
I mean, that's what I think.
I think it sets a precedent if they're convicted, and I think it'll make parents more responsible. Yeah. It'll be a good deterrent. I hate that this has happened, but if a parent can't keep their guns up and get their kids mental health, mental health, they're negligent parents.
Yeah.
And when that turns into criminal activity, such as shooting up a school, then the parents should be held liable.
Mm-hmm. Plus, especially if afterwards you help them evade law enforcement.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, please. Right?
Yeah. That's accessory.
Yeah, they ran off, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. It's heartbreaking.
But if y'all get a chance, and Jenny, you probably can't tomorrow evening, but at least come back on the rewatch and put in any points you can think of in terms of cell phone forensics. And I'm going to go over the Lori Hellis access denied document.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Yes.
It's always good, but this one's gonna be real
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
I'm going to really try to be nice about it. That's, I've got to be nice about it. You know, I'm going to try to anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's just all it was. To me, it was a publicity stunt. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was. Yeah, for her to do that. So, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But that's just between us, okay? What I speak with y'all, what I speak with y'all about is between us,
KJ,
okay?
we're on the live.
Well, I didn't know. Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, I'll just say it. It was a publicity stunt.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if you.
No,
We've been on the live the
yeah,
whole
when you
time.
called, you said, can everybody hear me? And we said yes, and we figured you knew.
Well, I don't care. All I'm saying is that I'll state it. State it clear and concise. What I have to go over about tomorrow night is someone's attempt to insert themselves into a very serious criminal case who was denied by Judge Boyce. I have the documents. I'm going to go over them. It was a publicity stunt. It couldn't have been anything more than that because it wasn't put well together. And for all those out there that say she was a hero and all this and that, well, once I read you what Judge Boyce said, where he denied all three motions of Lori Hellis, maybe you'll understand that this case is nothing to be messed with from outsiders wanting to get materials for their book or to make money. It's just it's clear as crystal. So I'm sorry, people don't want to hear that. But I wouldn't want, if I had a brother who was murdered, and if somebody came in there and filed motions because they wanted to write a book and they wanted to screw things up and leave these questions in the air about appeals issues so that my brother's murderer could get off at some point, maybe on a federal appeal, then I would have that person to say, there you go, that's what you caused. So it's nothing personal.
Right.
It's just, to me, it's ridiculous
Right.
to be inserting yourself into a high profile case just because you want content for your book. This isn't about we're gonna go out here and share all this with all these people on YouTube. Yeah, they will, but you're gonna have to pay a price for it. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So that's the way I feel about it.
Well, we're gonna be listening.
Yes, we are.
I'll be listening live.
Yeah, and I'll listen after for sure.
You're gonna listen on the rewatch.
I'm gonna listen on the rewatch. That's right.
Yeah, well, this decision came out on the 18th of August, and I was still in Fall Creek Falls. I had other content to cover, but now I'm coming around. Just as I told everyone on Cresha K's live stream, I'm going to be talking about things that I haven't talked about before in detail. Mm-hmm. But I will be discussing this. It's part of the case. Lori Hellis, has made it a point to insert herself into this case, so she's got to be talked about. And if people don't like it, and if people think she's a hero, then they might not want to be on the live stream tomorrow night, because I'm not out to hurt anybody's feelings, and I'm not out to attack Lori Hellis. I'm just wanting to be as real, common sense, gut feeling as I possibly can.
That's right.
I mean, as you always are.
That's right. And that's right. We respect your truth about that.
That's right. Well, we said last week when somebody asked us, and I said, I don't want anything to hurt the case.
No, we don't want anything to hurt the case.
If it's going to hurt the case, don't let it out.
That's right.
That's what I said. And I don't think Judge Boyce is very animated, or He don't give away a lot, but that's good. He's a judge. Sounds like he takes his time. He really thinks about it. We're going to hear tomorrow all the reasons that he said this is not a good idea.
That's right.
And we have to trust him.
He's also put in there that he was not even the motion she filed. He was not even. And I'll read the bottom note down there tomorrow, and it'll explain it. Basically, in layman's terms, he's saying your motions are not done the proper way, and I don't have to hear these, but just for judicial efficiency, I'm going to address them now. So he lets her know throughout that either she needs to get a little more legalese on her. To be using civil rules instead of criminal rules. Mm-hmm. And the criminal rules say there's only two parties to a criminal proceeding. If Kay or Larry wanted to file a motion, they couldn't do that. They are the victim's family members, and they couldn't do that.
That's right.
It's against the state, and it's against the defendant. And for her to say she has a right to have her way in a criminal death penalty case, and when she wants to say it's because we need transparency and all this and that, the bottom line is access denied on all of them.
There you go.
But for those that want to cheer for Lori Ellis and say, well, she's just trying to want things to be transparent and all this and that, he did say that he was going to deny it with no prejudice. In other words, he would be willing to hear it again if she done the right court procedural documents and the way that things are supposed to be done. He would be willing to do that. So, but for now, access denied.
Access denied. Well, we are going to have to do this again.
Yeah.
This was great.
Yeah.
This was unexpected.
It was unexpected. It was.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. I thought I was just calling y'all. I thought y'all was off y'all's live.
Well, we were getting off, and then you called, and when you answered, we're still on the live, and you said, well, can everybody hear me? And they were saying, yeah. We said, yeah, they can hear you. So we thought you knew.
Yeah, when I said keep this to ourselves, what it was about was so that I could unveil it tomorrow night.
Sorry.
I didn't want it.
We messed that up.
Well,
but now that everybody
preview.
Yeah, we have. I guess you can call it a sneak peek.
There you go. Sneak peek.
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek. And if anybody wants to come on KJ and the Ray tomorrow evening and dog me out for my views, don't even go there, because I'm not gonna have it on the channel. I'll block anyone who wants to say mean and derogatory things toward me.
There ain't no need.
Because the reason I say that is because anytime Lori Ellis has been brought up on other channels, and I won't name names, things have happened, people have said things, and I won't put up with that crap. I just won't. We all have a right to our own views, and we can be civil about it. And we can be, everybody. We can have discourse. We can have debate about it, but you can do it in a civil manner.
That's right.
I agree.
So
exactly
anyway.
Right.
So I will be seeing you then, Candace, tomorrow evening, right?
For sure. On the live.
Yes.
And we'll get I guess everybody got to hear the song that's going to be at the beginning, too.
It's okay. Well, really only about 30 or 40 heard.
I think about 30 people.
I mean, you have way more followers than that.
Yeah, they'll still be surprised.
They'll be surprised.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Well, if they ain't, then I might just wiggle around in my music box here and come up with something else just to surprise everybody.
There's a lot of songs about telephones.
Yep.
Yeah, there are.
I can think about 5 or 6 right now.
Yep.
But I'm not going to mention.
Candace.
Yes.
I just called to say I love you.
Yes, I love that song.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Right,
thank you so much for calling us.
I know.
This was fun. We will have to do it again.
I know, and that was unexpected.
And unexpected. That's right.
Unexpected, always a pleasant surprise.
So we need you to stay on here while we're telling everybody bye for our
Yeah.
live. All right, everybody. Thank you. We really are getting off now. We said that like an hour ago, but now
That's
we really
right.
are.
That's right.
Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for the comments. Bye, Tina Reddington. Bye, Kathy Barella. Let's see who else is still on here. Allison, Umpleby. All right. Bye, everybody.
All right,
Have
until
a good
next
night.
time.
Bye.
Bye.